Yo, what it is, YouTube? Got a movie review for you guys today. As you can see there, the movie is Moneyball, starring Brad Pitt. Went to this movie yesterday. Got my ticket stub actually still. To show you that I bought it and that this review is based on my opinion, and not just written off like IMDb. It's 8:25. Went to it at 3 o'clock p.m. So basically, we have Brad Pitt as the general manager of the Oakland A's. I think this movie was released on September 23rd of 2011, so it's been out for a little while. It's rated PG-13. So it follows Brad Pitt as the general manager of the Oakland A's, and his character name is Billy Beane. One thing that makes Billy Beane a different general manager than most of them is that he was a professional baseball player. He had played in the league, and I don't think any other general manager was a professional baseball player, or had been. He also doesn't mingle with his players or go on the road with them to watch any games. He doesn't even really like to listen to the games. He's kind of superstitious in a way that he won't watch the games, which is kind of funny. As a general manager, you would think he would want to watch every game and pay attention to all the players and stuff, but he's just kind of superstitious. Furthermore, he was drafted out of high school for the New York Mets when he played professionally. He had a full-time ride at Stanford, but declined it and went through the actual money route of pro baseball. His career kind of fell short as he did not become the big star as they thought he would. Got traded to a couple of teams, I think, to the Chicago Cubs and the Minnesota Twins, I believe. But when that was all done, he kind of wanted to still be within the baseball community, and he went to the recruiting route and became the general manager of the Oakland A's somehow. They don't really go into the background of how he became the general manager, but in this movie he is. So after a pretty good season they start off with, they lose to the New York Yankees, who, you know, have tons of money. I think they had a really good season, actually, the Oakland A's. They have like 3 top players who are bought out or traded from the Oakland A's to other high dollar teams. The Oakland A's actually have like little to nothing to buy superstar players. They don't have the money to keep $7 million a year contracts for players, really. One of the star players that gets gutted or gets taken away from him is none other than Jason Giambi. So once his team is kind of filtered out, Bean has to figure out how to get like players with a very low budget onto his team. His budget is like laughable, I guess, compared to the multi-millions that the New York Yankees have to have that trading power and buying power for star players like that. You've seen like the previews or the trailers or anything, you know that his team, the Oakland A's, is the team that's under the 50 feet of crap, shown in that clip. So on his quest to find players or trade with other teams, he meets Jonah Hill, who plays Peter Brand. Jonah Hill, if you guys don't know, is the guy from Superbad. He's this guy, the bigger guy, whatever, but he's lost a lot of weight now. and Jonah Hill plays this Peter Brand, who's a very smart young college graduate from Yale who studied economics. Um, very smart, used a lot of math equations and statistics. So Brad Pitt ends up buying this guy from, I believe he was from Cleveland, to work for him, just because his methods are a little bit different and he uses math instead of looking at big time players or the history of players. Anyways, I guess he still kind of uses the history beside because he uses statistics, but Bean and Bran go on this quest to find these players that I don't know, I guess fit their stats in a way that they build this system to buy. They're buying players to buy like runs, which runs will in turn win games. So that's kind of like their concept is a little bit different than the norm. So they try this system to use statistics and computer generated analysis to get these low end players, or low budget I guess players, to create a team that will hopefully be successful. Like I said earlier, this is kind of skeptical, and the public kind of looks down at them, and Brad Pitt's job, or Bean's job, is kind of questioned if he's gonna be there next year or if he's gonna get fired. So they're kind of against these odds in a way, but both Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt believe in the system, so they're liking it for 100% that this system is gonna work. It's pretty cool. Jonah Hill, who usually plays that loudmouth teenager, is kind of quieted down in this movie. He actually is quite reserved, plays a really kind of geeky, smart guy, but quiet-mannered, very different. So he did a great job in my opinion, as did Brad Pitt, and kind of different from, I guess, other movies that Brad Pitt usually plays. He kind of more serious in this one, not like Mr. and Mrs. Smith or Troy or Fight Club, just very different. But I guess that's what top actors do. They can act in a variety of ways, but I guess just out of their norm of what movies they play in. So they did a great job in my opinion. Let's see here. We also have let's see. So we got Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill, and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Philip Seymour Hoffman is that guy there. He's the coach. The guy actually sits in the dugout, makes the calls, kind of. Brad Pitt is the general manager. He gets the players, does the trades. It's the head honcho guy. Let's see. I guess it's kind of like Philip Seymour Hoffman plays like the third wheel. It's more of Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill kind of tag teaming this this system of making a team, and kind of leave Hoffman out of the dark. Hoffman plays, let's see here, he plays Art Howe is the coach. But anyways, I don't know if you recognize him from that picture with that hat on, but he's this dude as well. The guy from Red Dragon, who is like the newspaper guy who gets lit on fire and and is put it in a wheelchair and like rolled down the street or something like that. That's him. He does a great job as well as a kind of a serious actor in this one as well. And he's kind of questioning his own job of whether these two guys are making the right call based on this mathematical team they're forming. All in all, I would have to rate this movie an 8 out of 10. If you're wanting a lot of action or like an actual like action-packed movie, this probably isn't for you. It's very informative, but it's kind of like a documentary put into a movie form, but very entertaining. It's not like a true documentary, but it is, as you can see, based on a true story. Um, I went to this movie at 3 o'clock p.m. Noticed that the audience that sat through the movie was a little bit, or actually quite a bit older than myself. I think maybe was one of the youngest of the people to sit through the movie. I guess the older population or the elderly would probably be like almost a grandpa grandma age. So anyone could probably watch this movie. I would probably recommend someone that's probably more mature to get this mathematical stuff and why they're forming this team. Even though it's rated PG-13, it's just going to be more appealing to someone that understands, I guess, a little more of what's going on. Definitely don't bring like a 6-year-old or something to this. It's not going to click of why or what they're doing or what's going on besides, them seeing them play baseball. This movie ran about two and a half hours long. It started at 3, so minus the previews and whatnot. I checked my clock as the credits started to roll. It was 5:34 when I looked. What you could compare this movie to is, I kind of compared it to like what is it? Remember the Titans? It's kind of like a Cinderella story. You see, the Oakland A's don't really have too much money going up against those big dollar teams that do have the money to spend on the high rollers or the superstar baseball players. So they're kind of like the underdog team that's kind of looked down upon. And then besides not having really that much money, they're building this system that no other team really does. Use like this computer analysis stuff. And they really don't have anything going for them. They lose their top 3 players, and they got this new college guy picking players that no one's really heard of. They get a pitcher that kind of pitches weird. He's kind of got like this underhand sidearm throw, but they use these stats to get these players in order for them to know that they're going to get on base and then potentially score runs. So they use this computer math stuff to their benefit. I guess if you kind of like movies like the underdog Cinderella story, but informative, I recommend that you go see this video. Like I said earlier, I gave it an 8 out of 10. There are some funny moments in there. Jonah Hill kind of plays that quiet reserve guy, and he kind of got these one-liners that will be pretty comical. I mean, not as comical as you would say like The Hangover or something, but just kind of those awkward moments. He's kind of this quiet, smart, shy guy, I guess. Don't want to spoil too much for you. I recommend you guys go see it. It's out in theaters now. Thanks for listening. Peace out.